pledge allegiance to the
flag
flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father God, we thank you for the opportunity to serve this community this day. We ask for your wisdom, your guidance, clarity of thought, focus, and the strength to do your will. May our actions be just and honorable in your sight, and help us to reflect your heart in service to our town. In the precious name of Jesus and for the sake of his reputation, we pray. Amen.
Oh, okay. I am sorry, we do have a public hearing. I was thinking that was the budget workshop that I was reading. But I will open the public hearing, and anyone who would like to address council on the rezoning on the 3300 Block 8, Lot 3, and then a portion of Lot 16. And those are the properties up there next to Salem Church, next to the railroad track. Anyone like to address council, just come to the podium and give us your name and address for the record.
My name is David Baltnight. I serve as trustee for the Baltnight Family Trust. Baltnight family is in agreement that we want to sell our property on Salem Church Road near the new Irmo Walmart Retail Center, Palmetto Health's new medical facility, and the new YMCA. We selected NAI Avant as our realtor and AJ Holdings LLC as our developer for future proposed commercial development of our property at CSX Railroad, Tractor Supply, and Chick-fil-A. I annexed this property into the town of Irmo a few years ago because we felt the town of Irmo was an efficient, well-managed town. The developer's engineer is 4D Engineering. I request on behalf of the Baltnight Family Trust that Mayor King and the Town Council approve our family's request to rezone these 2.83 acre and 3.2 acre adjacent parcels on the northeast side of CSX Railroad for commercial development from FA to GC. The Irmo Planning Commission approved our GC rezoning request on these two parcels. Thank you for your consideration of this request.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none. Next item then on the agenda is the reading of the minutes from April 4th, 2017. Is there a motion for approval as written?
I so move, but there's one thing I'd like you to correct, please, ma'am. In the first paragraph.
Well, let's get a second, and then we can.
I second it.
Okay.
Councilman Barry Walker.
What page?
First paragraph, third line.
Oh, okay.
She just left out Councilman. Renee hardly ever makes mistakes. Hardly ever. Ever, ever.
Any other changes? All in favor of the minutes being approved as amended, do so with show of hands. Next item is the administrative briefing. Mr. Brown, anything you'd like to add?
No, sir.
Any questions of Mr. Brown? Seeing none. Next item is the code enforcement update, and I think we were getting like a new report or something like that. Or
report that council was given, and Officer Dale is here to answer the questions you may have and give you a brief overview if you want to. Okay.
Where's the report at? Where's the report at?
Should be on the screen.
On my screen.
Mine's not, my
You see a
screen's
report
not
on
on.
that screen right there? You see a report on that screen?
Nope. You got one on yours, Mark?
Must be confidential.
It's classified.
We have
Well, my
no-
thing says HDMI, no
Yeah,
signal.
no signal.
What's that mean?
That means it's not getting from there to here.
I think she's got it.
Do y'all want me to kind of just give you a
Please.
background over the last
Yes.
statistics? Between two officers assigned, myself and another officer, 61 abatement notices were written for various different offenses. It's like 24 of those were cleared, and there were 13 that were still active, which means that the grace period may have still been on the violation, may have still been extended.
Officer, I'm sorry, you said 24 cleared, and how many?
24 were cleared and 13 were still active.
Thank you.
We wrote 8 tickets on an incident involving protected trees out on the Salem Church Road. That was all written to one person. And there was a conviction for solicitation door-to-door type sales for a person that was working for a third-party contractor through AT&T that was going door-to-door and soliciting. He actually knocked on the door of a citizen that had a no soliciting sign on their door, so that's why there was, normally that would be an abatement notice and they'd move along, but he committed several violations, so that's why he was issued a ticket and found guilty in court. We picked up 61 signs, and part of code enforcement also involves community services, which is victim services related. So we have victims of crimes, we make contact with those victims. We advise them of their rights, tell them about when court is. We had about 12 victims just in the 1 month. And then we conducted about 7 community events. When I say community events, that could be officers going to the schools, eating with children during lunch. We do tours at the police department for groups, Boy Scouts. Couple families have come up there with their children just wanting to do tours. So we consider that community-oriented policing where we involve the youth. And then I'll just kind of, this is the first time, I think, for all of us, to open up for any questions you might have on certain cases if you want, or on the statistics.
So I think you said there were 61 written and 24 cleared and 13 kind of still open.
Yeah, I think I misspoke. It's 61 signs removed. The
Oh, okay.
abatement notices that were written was 35.
Oh, okay,
And out
35.
of 35, there were 24 that were complied with.
And then 13 still left.
Yeah, and that's kind of a moving target. If I were to pull it up now, today, the officer that was working in between 4 o'clock this afternoon and now could have cleared out 3
Sure.
notices. So it's kind of a moving target. It just depends on when you pull it up.
So you went ahead and issued tickets for the abatement notices were given back on the 1st of April, and the time expired for them to satisfy the abatements. You went ahead and wrote tickets for those?
For which one? You're asking for a particular incident or just any of them?
Any of them?
Yeah, if they were written and they're outside of the grace period for whatever the violation was.
Right.
We would either written or attempted to write them. A lot of times our problem might be, especially on a vacant residence or property, the owner might be out of town. So we're having to work several different avenues to try to make contact with whoever's the responsible party.
You have to physically see them to issue them a ticket?
That's correct. Yeah, we have to actually not only see them, but see them in our jurisdiction in Irmo and hand it to them.
So if they live out of town, they can't get a ticket?
Well, I mean,
I mean, that's easy enough, you know.
Technically not, but there's other ways that the town can go after them, and that's where Attorney Hale would come in as far as if it's a serious violation or if it's just a repetitive nuisance issue. I don't want to speak out of line, but he could possibly put a lien on that property if it were that serious, and that would be in lieu of a fine.
Now, if you can correct me, Bob, if I'm wrong about this, but 213 North Royal Tower Drive was just sold, is that right?
Yes, sir. It was
Yeah,
last
so-
year in 2006, like October, I think.
One of them was in June, one of them was in October.
So, and we know where that owner is?
We know, yes, I believe both of that one and the Weisswood property, which
Yeah.
are the ones that were the primary
So the
concern.
213 North Royal Tower is owned by, in the Richland County database, shows a Wayne Hoppin. That person does not exist according to the South Carolina B&B records. Doesn't mean he doesn't live here, but he's listed his address there. Nobody lives there.
And hasn't.
So even Google records doesn't come up with anything under that name. So I'm trying to work some different routes on how I can identify him right now. It's just taking a little bit of time.
But-
My research indicated that he was probably in New Jersey. So,
Okay.
But this man did buy the house,
For $90,000. That's what Richmond County's database shows.
and he says he lives in it.
He told, well, when he put his paperwork in, that's
he
what,
put his
that's the
paperwork
address he
in
put.
there, and he did not represent that he lived there because the property is being taxed at a non-owner occupied property.
6%? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's being taxed at a higher percent. So he didn't misrepresent that he lived there. He just didn't give them a good address to send.
Where he did live. And Google couldn't find him? Oh, give it up, Bobby, right there.
$90,000.
One thing I mentioned to you that they're doing in other parts of Quail Valley, we're not doing it here, but we might want to consider it. Unincorporated Quail Valley and Whitehall, when they get the ticket, if it's not paid, it's added to their property tax every 30 days. So it will be paid sooner or later, and the property tax, it can go up, $1,057 every month until it's paid.
I think that's easy for a county to do.
That's
yeah.
who's doing it, is Lexington
Because
County.
the law that pertains to that, we've had this issue before, the law that pertains to that, the state says shall be or can be or may be collected as property taxes. Well, the county's going to, but they won't
They can't,
collect
yeah.
municipalities.
But that's how they've gotten a lot of houses in Whitehall and Quail Valley.
But they'll collect theirs, yeah.
Oh, they'll
Because
collect
they ain't
that.
gonna collect
I wish we
everybody
could use it.
But-
And speaking of Quail Valley, the stormwater drain issue at Country Square.
Yes.
I'm still working on that. The owner, lives in Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
So, been playing a little bit of phone tag, and I don't think he realizes the seriousness of it because he just has somebody come, like an engineer come and do an inspection and see if that'll fix it temporarily.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to be able to talk with him there,
Yeah,
but
I understand.
And you may get a call from me in the middle of the night, because I got somebody waiting for headlights to pull up at that house and let me know that they're there, so. If I get a call, I'll be calling and letting you know somebody's there. We'll see who they are.
you guys paid a phone for me, so that's fine.
Thank you.
Any other question?
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And let's see. Next is amendments to the agenda. Any amendments to the agenda? And seeing none. Next is consideration of communication. I think we have a Ms. Sampson who would like to come speak to us on the Branch Cancer Walk.
Run.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good to see you guys again, and thank you for letting us come speak. Nicole's going to hand you some material to kind of look over. Can y'all hear me?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, this is working.
Thank you.
So, as you guys are
Thank you,
aware,
Nicole. Thank you.
my organization is in the middle, and we provide assistance to women going through breast cancer treatment who are financially in the middle. In other words, they make too much money to qualify for any free services, but don't make enough to pay for all of the things that come with treating breast cancer. You guys have been so gracious in allowing us to use the community park for the last 2 years to do our biggest fundraiser, which is the In the Middle of the Midlands Walk Run. Each year we've gotten a little bit bigger. This last year in 2016, it's always around the 4th of July, so it was July 2nd last year. We had 45 runners, which was a huge increase from the year before. And then I know that the farmer's market is no longer here, but we did work with the farmer's market, so we had more vendors this year. So we had between 75 and 100 people who showed up besides the runners. So that's about 150. We had a food truck this year with Too Fat to Fly. They agreed to come from downtown, so that was a big draw that we had them there. And so we made a good amount of money based off of that. This year, we've decided to try to increase the amount of people, and that's sort of why we're here to talk to you guys. Right now, it's scheduled to be on July 1st. Like we said, we'd always promised you guys it would be that first Saturday, or as close to that first Saturday in July as we could do it. But we wanted to add a component to maybe bring in more people for something different. So we've decided to have the walk, as we always have first thing in the morning, but from 11 to 2 o'clock to add a component, a barbecue festival, which we are calling Blues, Boobs, and Barbecue. The boobs coming from the same sort of thing of Save the Tatas and that kind of thing. If you look at your paperwork, there's the logo that we plan on using that we've already had designed. The whole point of that is to have a barbecue sort of contest. We've got 5 vendors that we've talked to that will come and have samples for everybody. We will have judging. They will get an award for the best barbecue. We will also allow the public to pay to get samples. So $20 would get them a sample of all the 5 vendors, and then they can also vote. We will have 3 different bands that will be playing, and we still have some more of the vendors. We have an ice cream vendor, Too Fat to Fly, still agreed to come back, as well as the DJ and some local vendors. So the whole point is to try to broaden the horizons and not just have it as a run, but to add a component that could invite more people to the venue and to your park. Because every time we do this, everybody talks about how great the park is, but then they just come and run and leave. So we sort of want to make the park more open to all kind of people. I wanted to add that thanks to you guys, we were able to there's a county tax grant that we're allowed to get, the accommodation tax grant, and we got that for this year. We got a $2,000 grant for that, and so we've applied again this year in hopes we don't find out until, I believe, June. Whether you get it or not. So it takes a minute before you find out. But part of the reason we were able to get that is because we do partner with you all. They liked that aspect of it. So I'm here to answer any questions you may have. Since we are changing it a little bit, I wanted to be able to answer any questions you guys might have about that.
I'm delighted you're successful.
Thank you.
When you first came and introduced this, nobody's going out there in the heat, July the 4th, to run. I'm glad I was wrong.
Me too, because I wouldn't do it. I said the same thing. I don't run unless somebody chases me, but I'm surely not running in July. But the runners actually loved the course. We got it certified, so that's a big deal in that runners who run these as a living or do it all the time, they try to do at least one a month. So this became the featured one for July with the Columbia running because they liked the course being hilly. It goes through Friars Gate. It does 2 laps in the park. Then it goes out through, not Friars Gate, but it is Old Friars Gate, yeah. Through there, and then it comes back and does one more big loop through the park. And all that's done by fast track timing, which is the same people that are here in Irmo. So we tried to keep a lot of it local to give some of the businesses the opportunity as well. So it's worked out fairly well, and so this year we're trying to broaden it by bringing in more activities. And one of the things people talked about is it'd be great if we had some entertainment. So that's sort of what we're doing.
Good, good.
Any other questions?
So you need us to give you that date?
I just need to
reserve
make sure
that
we
date?
have your approval for for July 1st.
So Bob, we can reserve that date for them?
Chief,
Okay.
is July 1st okay?
Oh, yes, and they've been, the officers are great. We had 3 of them show up, and they're very good about keeping the neighbors. We always put flyers out, just so you're aware. 2 to 3 weeks beforehand, we put flyers for the neighbors to know that part of the blocks may be cut off at 8 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. Most of them, I don't think, care. but we've not had any problems when we've had anybody needing to come through. The officers are really great about helping them get through without running anybody over. So the runners were very glad about that. So last year we had, like I said, I think 3 of the officers came and they were wonderful. So they always do help us out.
Good.
Good, thank you.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good.
And let's see, the next one is Solar 17 at Lake Murray. And I don't know, were you going to speak or is somebody else coming to speak? Or?
Yeah, I'll speak on it.
Okay.
Everybody knows that the 21st is a solar eclipse, a great solar eclipse that's coming right through Columbia and actually right through Irmo and Lake Murray. And Lake Murray, Miriam Atra has a large group of people that are going to be at the dam to see this thing. She has about 3 or 4 busloads of people from South America that are coming in for this event. And she asked me if Irmo wanted to be included in that promotion for that, and I said, sure we do. And basically, what we need to do is to let all of our police department be aware of the impact it's going to have on our area during that time, as well as if we want to use our park, the community park as overflow for folks that want to see it. I believe at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, they have a good vantage point of the sun being over the field so they can see it, and we can get those special glasses, those solar glasses from Lake Murray, from Miriam and her group. They can put us on their website as a place to do it. But then I think as Kathy mentioned during our budget debate, budget meeting, you know, we need to have a little more than just having a bunch of people out in the park. We might want to have a picnic atmosphere, you know, have some food trucks out there, have some, you know, a DJ entertainment or whatever, make it a event because the kids are going to be out of school for this event, and we're going to have a large flux of people coming to the area just to see this, to have a good vantage point. I'm sure there are going to be other things around Columbia, but there's going to be a lot of things at Lake Murray, and it's going to probably overflow what they're going to have room out there. And we need to take advantage of that while we have those folks here. Be a good time for us to have, you know, the restaurants aware of this because they're going to be impacted by the number of people that are coming in this area. There's a bunch of positives that we can get out of it. So what I wanted to do was to task the chief and the police department, and Bob, if they wanted to put something together with Miriam and the folks out there to coordinate with them in their advertisement to get, you know, the glasses and the advertisement to include on their website. That the park would be an overflow location.
Well, I'm not seeing anything from either. I mean, I guess whatever we do, council needs to approve it, or you need to approve it if it's small enough or whatever. Or do we need to approve it if it's whatever?
I'll give it her and see what she wants to do.
Okay.
We need to know what, you know, she's thinking about.
Well, I mean, it's what we're going to do in our park. They're going to use. Do we want to have them include us in their advertisement on their website? So Solar 17. Do we want to get a couple of cases of those free glasses to distribute? Do we want to get water to distribute? You know, distribute those.
Do it in our
those
park.
type of things. You know.
Do we know what time the solar eclipse?
2 o'clock.
2:40,
Yeah, 2 o'clock.
So
something like that.
the sun will be high in the sky. So
2:40 is when the eclipse.
my concern was you might not be able to see it from the park, but
No, we can
It's
see
gonna
it
be
at
dark.
2 o'clock, yeah.
I just wanted to add something. I'm on the Board of Commissioners for South Carolina ETV. If you do organize, ETV has already compiled a list of South Carolina sites, and that may be something you'd be interested in. I got a cursory list at the last board meeting, and it lists where you can see it. City of Columbia is using Finley Park or the park. And once you get it together, you contact Bobby Kennedy at SCETV, and she will list your View location as one of those Solar 17 locations, and it's something that's being distributed through South Carolina ETV and ETV Radio. Just your thoughts.
Thank you.
Thank
Nicole.
you.
Thank you.
I do too. And if you can't see it from the park, why couldn't you see it from the middle of St. Andrews Road? We can't. I know, but that's not in the town of Irmo.
Kathy, we're gonna know, the sun will be at the same angle Thursday and Friday this week, so we'll be able to tell where you can and cannot see it.
Thursday and Friday
Friday this week,
at the same time, 2:45.
correct. So we'll know for sure this week whether it's gonna be visible in the park or what location in town.
Well, if you can't, we can't stop Lake Murray Boulevard. Maybe we could stop.
But maybe it'd be better at the town park or Veterans Park.
Yeah, yeah.
So we'll be able to tell this week.
What about
Okay, good.
the old, the parking lot where we used to have the Oaks truck?
Yeah.
I mean, is there any,
Probably better there, wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
and the only other comment I'm gonna make is, I would love to see something from Lake Murray Tourism showing us how they're spending their $12,635, not just this money, but the rest of that money, which they haven't provided. I don't know that they can show us how they're gonna spend that money or whatever, I don't know, but
Well,
I'd be
same
interested in
token,
it.
you know, how the chamber spend their money we gave them. You know, what are they doing
got
for
that.
advertising?
We got all that.
What's that?
We got all that, and we sent it to Turk. We still haven't got anything from the other group.
Why don't we wait and let Whit tell us where's the best place to see it, and then plan something? Even if we wanted to do, didn't we just pass the thing about food vendors, and we could have our own little festivities in the dark?
Everybody bring a flashlight.
Yeah,
2
that the
minutes.
town's putting on. I think it's a good idea. If all the people are coming that say they are, we got a big crowd.
And it may be too, if the schools are gonna be closed, then Irmo
Yeah.
High School parking lot is a big,
That's true too, but they are, yeah.
it's not in our town, but it's still
I
a
was
big
thinking of
spot.
selling beer and,
Oh, yeah, well,
I'm not thinking of selling beer.
You know, you bring a great point up there, the bus parking lot behind it, there's 2 or 3 football fields.
That's right.
There'd be a great viewing section there. Park up top, walk down, as you're walking down, you're listening to music, you're getting food from the food truck, and
You're right.
drinking a beer, I guess.
Yeah. While our police watch you.
There's a traffic light there.
You're right.
It's an easy entrance and that exit to St. Andrews Road, as long as the train doesn't block anything, but I think that bus parking lot is pretty big, it's a football field itself.
It is. You're right.
The band practices on, and there's 2 or 3 football fields behind it.
Yeah, practice field.
Might be 4.
Whit, let us know what you
Is that in
think
the town of Irma?
by the end of the week.
it's not, but it's right next to it.
Thank you.
The park lot's in the town of Irma? I didn't know that.
Bus parking lot,
Oh, yeah.
is in the town of Irmo, so we can, King Lexington County, right?
We can come
There you
get
go. There you go.
I think it's a good idea. It's a big deal. And it's a tourist thing.
Buses are parked on one end of the parking lot.
They might be able to put them over and across the street in the high school parking lot, maybe.
Park in the high school parking lot, we can walk them across before the festivities begin. Starting at 12 and go all day.
It's a good idea.
Or we might get them to move the buses over there.
It is. It's a good idea. This is a big event,
Well, it is on a Monday, though. It is on a Monday.
but no one's working.
You're wrong.
None of us are working. The schools are closed.
Well, whatever. Y'all come up with some location wherever y'all want to do it. But the fact is, I want to make sure we take advantage of the relationship between the tourism people providing the glasses and the publicity through their website, Solar 17, if we're going to do anything or not. So,
Well, and we can plan after we know where the best place is. But you're right, the bus parking lot is in Irmo. Yeah, Yeah. It's a good idea.
Any other consideration of communications? Seeing none. Next item then is presentation by citizens. This is where anyone who would like to address council on anything that's on the agenda tonight may do so at this time. All we ask is you give us your name and address for the record and also what agenda item you'd like to speak to. Yeah, you can, yeah. It'd be the time, yeah, if you want to, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Barbara, I need you for a second to answer a question for me. This is pertinent. Back when we were running the community club many times, Susan's running too. Tell me the name of the company that Whitney had been trouble with.
Southland.
Oh, back in those days. And this is Lady Ann. This is Joyce's husband. Remember Joyce?
Yes.
Had her here today. This wouldn't be going on. And I'm glad to see it. Here are our officers. Susan's run this community club many times. This is Susan Cole. The reason
Who are you? What's your name?
I'm Elizabeth Keller.
Okay.
I've lived here 42 years. I've done my time.
What's
in
your
this
address?
town. 300 Waltham Abbey Road. I'm in Coatesworth.
Okay.
I was here when the roads weren't paved and it was red clay. So we had a time. This is what I want to say. And this is pretty much it. The trading off to Fridays has not worked for us. I guess it's kind of like going into Kroger and buying something on a Friday. And they say, why don't you come back and pick it up on Tuesday or Wednesday? So we're not getting what we paid for. Or maybe we are, but we're getting it on Tuesday. So the way I look at it is I understand that tonight is when you're going to vote to keep our garbage service. And of course you're not going to, I understand you're going to vote not to have them after tonight.
We don't know that yet.
Well, you do whatever you want to, but as we stand now, we get our service on a Friday. That move was to on Friday. So up to this point, there are even some areas, Cassie's is one of them. Cassie's is a devoted member that comes to our meetings. We don't have a lot of meetings anymore. Our little neighborhood is trying to get back on its feet. Our community organization has been going on for 42 years. So at 300 Waltham Abbey Road, my street, and here's Cassie. Raise your hand up there, Cassie. And Cassie wasn't picked up today. Her trash, her yard trash is still sitting there. And according to Susan,
100 Basing House Road, ours was picked up just about an hour ago.
It was supposed to be picked up Friday.
Yes, same thing with 113 Bosworth Field Court. We just got picked up late this afternoon in my circle.
Okay.
Other parts of the road did not.
Did they get your yard trash?
Yes.
today.
Today.
But they're parts,
Friday. Schedule was Friday.
but they're parts like Cassie, yours, Cassie, raise your hand. They're still there. So what I'm saying is, we do Fridays in Coatesworth. Fridays in Coatesworth is our day. They sent out a card that they've moved us to Friday. We could be Wednesday, we could have been Tuesday, but they sent us a card specifically saying Friday. And that was we got that card. Friday's all well and fine, but I call Kay religiously. Kay should not be responsible for hearing from me starting on Thursday. Everybody shoots the messenger. It's not Kay's problem. Kay's even come to my house and picked up my garbage. Poor Kay. All she can do is say, hey, Elizabeth, and here we go. Now, Friday's choice was very poor. I understand that it could have been Wednesday, it could have been Tuesday. But on Friday afternoon when people get off of work, by the time they get home, they don't know how to call y'all directly. I do. So it's always going to be Elizabeth. But even if we get it on Tuesday, I've read the garbage service agreement. I've read that. Might be one of the only people who have. Has no teeth in it. But even if it did, let's say it comes Friday afternoon, people getting off of work. What are they going to do? And sometimes they have come on Saturday. That's when Kay gets on it hard. But you go to Kroger, this is what I'm making the comparison to. You go to Kroger, and let's say it does get picked up by Tuesday and Wednesday of the next week. You buy your groceries on a Friday, and you get them on Wednesday. So we're paying for our groceries on Friday, and we pick them up on Tuesday or Wednesday. What does that say? And I say that we are paying our money, and we ain't getting it. That's all I know to say. Talking about it and trying to call Jacksonville, Florida, where the main office is, can't get them on the phone. They won't answer the phone. That's that. There's nothing more to say. I don't know how else to put it. Do y'all have an answer for that? And I don't care who picks up. It doesn't matter. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. And, of course, to vote to get rid of them ain't a bad idea. I don't care who does it. I don't care who picks up the trash. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care how much is paid. I don't care who gets the contract. That's why I sent the email to everybody. Somebody comes and gets our trash. I don't care who it is, because we're paying for it. We want what we pay for, and I don't care who comes. Everybody agree with that?
We do.
Cassie?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Keller.
Got a picture. You only got one, so.
Okay, sir.
I am John Hanson, 905 Shadowleaf Court, Columbia. Mailing address, but right here in Irmo. Circulating a picture, and everything is a picture of trash in front of what I consider a law-abiding, rules-following citizen of our community. But the picture shows a pile of trash. It's there right now. It was not picked up today. And the problem in this case is not with the trash people picking it up. It's with the citizen who left the trash there. You see, the picture shows trash, and right at that fire plug, just to the right of it, I placed my trash in a bundle, wrapped up and tied by a string. Point is, I followed the rules, and the trash people took care of it. It was laying right beside the trash in that picture. They picked up my trash, that bundle, and did not pick up the trash because it was not prepared according to the rules of the trash and our Irmo. Now, my request back to council is to make a bigger effort to communicate with the citizens of the town, to make and comply with our town rules so that the trash people can do their job. And
Yes.
so as a result, you know, there's two problems. One, leaving the trash out on the street for several days prior to its being scheduled pickup, and not preparing it in the bundles the way it's supposed to be, on trees and leaves. And so my request to you, I don't care, I'm like the lady here, I don't care who the contract is with the company. Yes, I'd like to have it done on the day it's supposed to be done. it wasn't. It was, again, just like them. My schedule was Friday, and it got picked up late today. So anyhow, I would encourage you, if you work out a new contract with a new company, one, I would encourage you to schedule it on a Monday if you can negotiate it that way, because most of us, we work on the weekends and we get our yard and do our yard work. I'm retired, so I can do it any day of the week, but others who are still working do their yard work and prepare their trash, and quite often they will put it out on the street on the Sunday or a Saturday, and it's there all the week now until the regular scheduled pickup. So in closing, I just say that. Please make an effort by the town to communicate to the citizens to show what the rules are. And yes, we need to do something about their problems and working with the management on the contracts.
Mr. Hanson, are you telling me that that's not your trash in front of your house?
That's not my house. That's a neighbor's house.
Okay, okay.
That trash was there and
okay.
By a neighbor's house, and my property starts at that fire plug, and the trash was laid right there beside the fire plug.
Bundled.
My trash,
yeah,
which was picked up properly, and the trash company left the remainder there, properly following their own rules.
Actually not. They're supposed to tag that. And anytime they come to a pile that big, they're supposed to tag it. They're supposed to let the property owner know we don't pick up anything by 4x4, whatever it is, cubic. And they're supposed to tag it, but they don't do that
Well,
either.
they did for a while, because mine's in Rubbermaid.
This isn't.
Yeah, I know, but mine was in Rubbermaid containers. I had a situation like you. Mine's packaged. I asked them if they wanted a red ribbon around it when they didn't pick it up one day. Next door neighbor had a pile looking worse than that one. They put a citation on my door, and I ran the truck down when this was 2 years ago, and I was 70. And the guy says, "What's the problem?" I said, "I've got trash you didn't pick up." "Well, it's not stacked up properly." I said, "That's not my trash. That's my neighbor's trash. He puts his trash on my side of his yard. His Herbie Kirby's are on the other side of his yard. So you assume this was mine. It's not. It's that house."
No, we don't got management problems.
Yeah.
They don't like any of us.
Anyway.
I've heard those stories. That's pretty good. I'm Jim Epting, Settler Station, 13 Old Stream Corridor Road. And like Mr. Hanson and the young lady who spoke there, ours was picked up today, but it was 2 weeks late. Okay. Ours, I've talked with several of my neighbors. Our biggest complaint was just arbitrarily changing from Wednesday, where our date was, to Friday, which is the worst possible day for all the reasons already given, especially when it's 2 weeks late. Okay. One neighbor who sent me a long text last night who couldn't attend tonight said, and she's a little older than me, she's in her 70s, and she lugged her big heavy bags back and forth, and finally she left them out there over Easter weekend, and because she was told they would be picked up. Kay has been great trying to help us resolve the issue. I have tried to call advance, as I put in my email to Councilman Walker and the mayor, that, you know, my minimum wait time is 20 to 23 minutes. Now, I got through yesterday in 1 minute. I could not believe it. But the young lady who was very gracious, cordial, she said, quite frankly, I don't know what to tell people because we've had so many calls and stuff. And I said, thank you very much. And that's what I'll say to you. I just want it picked up, whatever it costs, whatever we pay. If I got to buy the Herbie Kirby's and everything, that's fine, personally. A lot of times over the years, I've just taken my yard trash to the dump just because I don't want to deal with it. I'm always thankful when they do pick up the recycle, because like probably y'all, my recycle's overflowing, and I got one bag of trash, so I can deal with that. So whatever you decide, you know, just think about
Thank you.
Did the trash get picked up over there on time, Ms. Epton?
Let's say very-
Did your trash get picked up?
When they changed, that's another problem. And I don't blame it all on the trash people. This time, when they changed ours from Wednesday to Friday, DOT came in, and I complained to Kay about this. They just came in one Friday morning. The first Friday, it was gonna be trash pickup. They blocked. There's only 3 cul-de-sacs in my little neighborhood. There's 33 homes there. They blocked all the dang roads, so I'm assuming that the trash people couldn't get through that day. So trash, nor recycle got picked up that day. So recycle finally, since the next week wasn't scheduled pickup, which they told us they would come anyway, but they didn't. So that was 3 weeks before recycle was picked up. So my wife and my neighbors were having to put that in the garbage and stuff just to get it picked up, which we hated to do. Yes, the last 2 weeks, regular household trash has been picked up, and recycle is picked up Friday. Now, you never know, because if they're coming, sometimes it's like 6 o'clock in the evening or 7 o'clock in the evening. You just don't know. I mean, I'm semi-retired. I play golf about every Friday. I get home, and it's still sitting there. My wife sent me a text about 3. She said, whoopee, they picked up the trash and the recycle today. So how about the yard trash? No, they hadn't made that yet. Okay, so the little things make us happy there. We just kind of want to get for what we're paying. And if we got to pay, whatever. Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Good evening.
Hey there.
My name is Rosetta Lee Park, and we live on back behind Mary's Bank and Chaco Bell. The garbage people have really forgot about us because I'm gonna tell you our problem with the garbage people. You know, when you got a sick person, and my mother is 93 years old, and she's sick. And the dirts come by, and you have to change her all the time, and have to run out there to the road. And I live on 1204, and my mother live on 1200. All of us goes together, and we help her. And then you got to take the stuff out to the road, and the trash just sit out there. And then when you go out there smelling, and you just got a problem. So I told my husband, I said, let me tell you something. You get this trash and go over there to Bush River and to landfill over there, and you take that trash. So he's been there, the garbage man, because on a case like that, you need some help. And it's bad when the garbage people don't come around, and when you need them bad. But it's a problem when you got to run around and the yard trash is just about as bad too. So you just got a problem, especially when someone is sick and they need help. So I told my mother, I said, well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna talk to them, see what the best we can do. I said, because it's bad when you don't have nobody come and pick up this old stinky garbage, and it smells, especially when a person has been sick and stuff like that. And we still trying to do the best we can, but we need help with the garbage company, because we back behind Chaco Bell and Mary's Bank. I thank the God they have forgot us back there. And it's bad when they don't forgot us. And I just came over tonight to see what I could do and see what I get some help. So we have talked to Mr. King about it. He said, well, I tell you this, come on over here. And everybody probably got some more complaints too, like y'all have complaints. So I hope and truly that something be done tonight. Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
What day is her garbage pickup? You know? What day is your garbage pickup?
Oh yeah, my garbage is supposed to be well. It was on Wednesday. They were doing kind of good, pretty good. But now since they changed the dates, they don't even come.
Is it on Friday?
Yes, on Friday.
Okay.
And the last time they come, it was in the nighttime.
Okay, so how many people did go from Wednesday to Friday? I mean, that's the 4th person that came up here and said that their garbage pickup day has changed. And they can't say that they're going to a 5-day-a-week pickup when everybody's coming up here saying, well, mine went from Wednesday to Friday, it seems like where did they make the dividing line at? Who gets picked up on a Monday and Tuesday?
I don't know.
New Fires Gate is part Monday and Tuesday. Old Fires Gate is Wednesday. And then I'm not sure who's Thursday.
Mine stayed Wednesday.
Has anybody looked at that? Have you looked at that schedule?
Friday is the neighborhood behind Taco Bell back.
It used to be on a Wednesday.
Yeah,
but
now
when
it's Friday.
They changed it to Friday.
Right.
And after it went to Friday, it just went on down the hill and forgot us black people.
And
But it's all neighborhoods.
Also Coates
Yeah, but I mean,
and Quail Valley
it says,
and Murraywood.
right. Well, my neighborhood's Friday too.
Yeah.
So how is that going 5 days a week?
It ain't
If everybody's on
working.
Friday.
They're not. They're all.
Everybody's not on Friday. I'm
Yeah.
on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I was Wednesday, and I'm still Wednesday, but they pick up my yard trash on
A
Thursday.
lot of New Fires Gate is Monday and Tuesday. So it's kind of. But.
Don't
Hi,
be
I'm
mad,
Susan
Miss Keller. We're
Floyd.
gonna do something.
But yeah, it's all days, and I think partly what's happened is they're missing so much on Monday, they catch it up if they can, and
I'll
then they
make it
miss
hard.
Tuesday and Wednesday, and by Friday, they ain't got Wednesday and Thursday, and they're just way behind. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Susan Floyd. I live at 100 Basing House Road. We hold the people accountable. You hold us accountable. We vote you in. We expect you to take care of us. We cannot do your job. And no disrespect to anybody. It's just you've heard it over and over. And not just tonight.
No.
I'm like the 5th time tonight. How many times has Kay heard it? I'm not here to shoot the messenger. I'm just here to speak and say, do the right thing by us. Because when it comes time, you're going to be coming and knocking on my door. Right, Mr. King? You will be knocking
I'm ready to
on
fire
my-
them.
but
I was
you're
ready
not
to fire
giving
them
me eye contact.
6 months ago. I was ready to fire them.
You didn't.
But
You're
we're
not
here.
giving me eye contact, which I deserve.
No, I'm
your
making notes.
respect.
I make notes here.
But you can make. I'm a
Oh, he's
teacher,
playing
so
over
I
there.
can make. You can make notes when I'm not speaking.
I can't remember that long.
I'm
Can't.
sorry. I'll
But-
make note of that. But I'm just saying, and no disrespect, please. I've already told everybody my address. And I'll repeat it for you. But I'm just saying, please respect us, because we're just a few people that come out because we've worked all day. But we still care about whether or not my trash cans got picked up. I was talking on the phone about tonight's meeting, and I went, oh, there's a garbage truck going down my yard, down my road. And my husband goes, oh, they picked up our trash. Excuse me, today is Tuesday. And it's 6 o'clock in the afternoon. When I do my job every day, I'm held accountable. There's no excuses.
Nope.
Therefore, there are no excuses for the people that we've already paid services for. Thank you for your time. And Mayor King, no disrespect.
That's fine. No, that's fine.
But I'm an eye contact kind of person. Sorry.
Advanced.
I was under the impression that Advanced
They
had
made the
had
decision.
made the. Why is that?
If we can give you some background, this is something
We would like that.
Advanced bought out Southland.
Okay.
Okay.
I need one person at a time.
You're right.
Because I can't.
Go ahead.
I can tell you that this is something that this council has been working on since July.
Of 2016.
That's correct. Okay? And we're under a contract, and the contract has stipulations where you can break the contract. Now,
We can break the contract, or they can break the contract.
We can.
We can, the town.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, they can too, but.
So what happens is there's stipulations, And then, of course, we want to hear what they're saying. Now, there's been a number of managers who have come to this council and said, we're going to straighten it out.
5.
We have many people who are business people here. You want to give them an opportunity to straighten it out. So we listened, and we gave them an opportunity. And then, boom, one manager goes away, and now supposedly they have the troubling manager, the guy who takes care of the problems, the Rambo of advanced, okay? So he says, no. The way we're going to straighten out this problem is we're going to come to your town every day. So if we miss a pickup, we have trucks in the area that will take care of it the next day. It sounds logical, right?
No, but we're giving them the benefit of the doubt since last July.
Right, because we've had problems in various communities all this time.
Right.
All this time. So we've been working on this, again, trying to work within the contract and trying to understand and give them the benefit. And every manager says, oh, no, we're implementing this. We're getting new people. We're bringing people from other locations that have straightened out troubled areas, and we're going to do this. Now, in the meantime, of course, as you have been following this, we understand that there are other communities that have had the same problem with advanced. And I can tell you, being a new council member, Julius being a new council member, that what I do all day long is I prepare contracts. That's what I do. And when I see this contract, I agree with you. It's got no teeth. I don't prepare contracts that have no teeth.
Understood. So, as Mayor King just said, we can break our contract just like they can break ours. Why can't we take care of it?
We plan on doing that right now.
Tonight.
Okay.
Right now.
Mr. Walker said a minute ago, we haven't done that yet.
We haven't. We have to get
Are we
together.
going to do it now where I can hear it?
No,
Well, we'll be doing it on the
Stay for the
agenda.
entire
Session.
meeting.
Oh, I love that.
No, we got to vote in public. We will vote in public, but it'll be item, whatever it is.
But we're going to mainly do what.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
10C.
No.
But we're going to do
You
You
what.
understand. I mean,
Yes.
We are all residents here. We've all had, believe me, we've all had problems with trash. And this is why we started working on this in July.
okay, I don't want to hear that because July is way back there.
Yeah.
So, yet, like I said a minute ago, I'm held accountable way back then. I mean, I'm accountable now. You, as a council, are accountable
Yes, ma'am.
in July 31st.
Yes,
if
ma'am.
it didn't fix. Thank you for your time.
Susan, was that yard trash that you didn't get picked up or trash?
Today.
Was
Yard
that yard
trash.
trash?
Yes.
So your household trash got picked up on time?
No.
Not all of it.
No.
No.
So what would?
It did. Ours at 100 Basing House was picked up on Friday afternoon.
Okay, so the only thing that
cannot
didn't get
speak.
the only thing that didn't get picked up in your case was the yard trash.
Right.
That's what you're
And
complaining
Easter
about.
Sunday, I had my whole family over because my husband is, I welcome y'all to come to my home. I've got a big lot with about 45 trees. And it's ridiculous to have all of that, because it wanted to be clean. It was going to be taken away, the tubs put away, and we're good. This sounds so minuscule, really, in the big scheme of things. But if we're here, it needs to be addressed.
And before you leave, let me kind of add to what Mark was saying. If we vote tonight to cancel a contract, we got to give them a notice. I don't know if it's 30 days, 60 days, or 90 days until we go into an executive session and have Eric, our
I'm
attorney,
sure he'll have that
advise
contract.
us correctly. Then once we do that, we bid out the contract, or we bid it out to new companies. We got people bidding on it. They'll come back April the 27th, and we'll open those bids, and we hopefully will choose one of them. with the intention of giving them 60 days to get all their plans together and their schedule and all that good stuff. And I would incidentally add to that instead of doing a 5-day, if we go to multiple days, we go to 4 days. At least, if they don't pick it up on Thursday, they can pick it up on Friday or something. But anyway, we'll have a contract. And then the new company won't go into effect until July 31st, I think, which is a Monday. Now, between the day tonight that we vote to cancel them and the day we get a new company in here,
I'm interested in that.
don't expect it to get better. I would expect them to kind of go, the heck with that town. They just counseled us.
Okay, then is that acceptable?
No, it's not.
It's not acceptable.
But
Okay, then you
but that's
need to
what we
fix
got to
it.
deal with. That's what we got to deal with.
I understand that,
Yeah.
sir.
But
Because
I'm
if
just
you
saying
terminate me today,
That may
I
not
might
get any
not,
better.
you know, but
You might not
that's
show
where
up.
my mom and dad did me right. I understand that I have a commitment.
But then again, it may not get any worse because I don't think it can get any worse.
Yes, sir, it can. Because we can have
I don't know.
trash. No, sir. It can be like a strike where we've got molding food out on our streets. Oh, yes, sir. I'm
Well,
sure it
there
can
is
get
a thing in
worse.
the contract, I think. If they don't pick up within 5 days, we can fire them right away and hire somebody else and do something else and all this other stuff.
And how
But-
quick will you hire someone else?
Well, you have to bid it out, and that's what
Well,
we
we
said.
got to
But
bid.
see, I'm saying, what if they decide, hey,
5 days
you know,
later,
Irmo, kick your butt.
We
and-
can just call up somebody else and say, hey,
But you
come
will
over
do
here
that.
and try to
You
help us out and
promise
get it done.
us
Oh,
that you will do
yes.
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
I
do
want to hear
something.
Barry.
I don't know. I got to look and see.
See, I'm
This
sorry.
There's a
side
financial
promises you.
responsibility.
Well, I mean,
We're gonna
but I
do what
need-
the lawyer
we all
says and
need
do
a
it right.
Unanimous vote or a unanimous consideration that I don't want trash and molding stink where I'm living. I mean, this poor woman's got diapers in her trash can.
Understood.
That's unacceptable.
But you told me that it's not trash, it's yard trash.
But hers is trash.
Okay, so the
And
trash.
so you're right.
I mean,
And there's been
yard
other days
trash
when
is
they
getting
didn't pick up
picked
the trash.
It's not
Yard
getting picked
trash,
up.
I can
Yard
keep-
trash is not getting picked up, but the household trash is.
Some of theirs is not.
Some of them is not.
Yeah.
You know what? Yard trash, I can push leaves under an azalea bush and hope it's mulch. Okay? I know how to do that.
That's fine, but you shouldn't have to do that. Yeah.
But you know what? That is not. It, And I
Yes, it
think
does.
they've overspoke their capability. And that's fine. They need to suck it up, or we need to make a change.
Well, I think we're going to make a change when we get to there. I'm pretty sure.
Keep in mind that there's, contractual, we got to look at the contracts to see.
Anyone else?
Yes.
Yes, we got some more.
Good evening, gentlemen, ladies. My name is Milton Cooley. I live at 29 Old Stream Court. I'd like to co-sign everything that's been said here. There's no point in me going through my list of complaints. I have the same complaints as everybody else. And I would like for better service. But rather than focusing on what's already occurred, I'd like to change the focus to what's going to happen in the future. You have indicated that you're looking at making the change. And I know when you're dealing with contracts, there's lots of things in there. And I would suggest that even though it's bad, maybe we don't want to cut off our noses to spite our faces. And let's get to wherever we need to get to, however long that takes. But once we get to that point, or before we get to that point, I would suggest that, we've got a bunch of very capable citizens here. Perhaps some of these folks would be interested in being part of some committee so that the citizens can suggest to you what we want, when we want it, how much of it we want, and how much we want to pay for it. And if some of these citizens have a chance to participate in some of those deliberations, maybe we can understand a little bit better why we're doing the things we're doing in the way that we're doing it. I know that there's a lot beneath the surface that is more complicated than my trash didn't get picked up. I get that, but the bottom line, that's pretty much all we care about.
And that's really the simple truth.
We just want the trash
They paid
gone.
to pick up trash. All they got to do is pick up trash. That's it.
And my problem is I've got a yard. I like to do yard. Well, I don't like to do yard, but I have to do yard work. But I can't plan on those folks coming, So if I have a big weekend, number one, it's going to sit out there all week, although that may be in violation, Mr. Hanson, but I can't go back Thursday evening and drag my stuff out to the street in time for them to not show up. They may or may not show up. Okay, now it sits out there another week. And I think Jim, they picked it up today, but if they hadn't picked it up today, Friday would have been the third week that our yard trash would have sat on the curb. So that's just not a thing that we can work with. So if we can get some input as citizens, and one thing that I would suggest is, Mr. Hanson talked about, there being rules, but it seems like the rules make it for the convenience of the trash haulers. My trash doesn't fit. When I go in the back and hack down bushes, it doesn't fit in a nice, neat bundle. And it took me a month last summer to get rid of all of the stuff that I cut down one afternoon. And, a lot of times I see the truck coming and it doesn't make a single stop because there's nothing out there. Other times, everybody is raking leaves at the same time. Everybody's doing spring cleaning at the same time. And there's stuff left over. Maybe that could be factored into the new contract or whatever we're going to do going forward, so that this is for our convenience. This should be for us. We shouldn't have to make it convenient for the haulers. They should make it convenient for us. We are the customers. We're paying.
Understood. If I may.
Sure.
When you're talking about bushes, when you're talking about tree limbs, you can imagine if everyone is doing
I get it.
all of that at the same time, and they're not put in bundles, they're not cut a certain size, what's going to happen is that truck that came in to do that day's work won't get it done. They won't.
I understand. I agree.
They won't. So there does have to be some rules,
Sure.
and that is for, let's face it, what you're telling us is we want that stuff picked up on the day it's supposed to be picked up, and we want it all picked up. So we want to make sure that there are rules in place to allow those guys to make sure that they pick it up, because we don't want any excuses. We don't want them to say, well, look, there was no bundles. They were taking 12-foot limbs. No one cut those. This is all the excuses that we hear on here. Believe me, we are angry. We are angry about this. We hear you, and we are angry about this. This is crap. We understand completely, and we're going to change it.
One thing I would add to what you just said is absolutely give limits. You can't just haul logs out onto the street. I get that. But the example I will give you is the mechanics house down there. This one's empty. They're renters. The guy came in, cleaned up the yard, had a big pile. They were all in bags now, garbage bags. Big pile them out on the corner, but they will only take so many.
Well, they're supposed to pick them all up. Yeah.
And then, and I've had the same thing happen to me. I'm suggesting that, okay, give us, 4-foot limits. Okay, fine. You can't just have it in unstructured piles, fine. But, everybody is raking leaves at the same time. Nobody wants to see those leaves again this next week. Everybody is spring cleaning at the same time. Maybe we can have some accommodation for, seasonal activity.
An extra truck when it's
truck
absolutely,
during the spring,
yes.
extra truck during the fall.
Yes, sir.
Write that into the contract.
Yes,
and
sir.
one thing I would ask you, by all means, write into the contract financial
penalties.
Penalties, absolutely.
Yes.
for failure to meet their obligations. Make it hurt.
Yes,
so
sir.
that it's
Yes,
cheaper to do their job than it is to not do their job.
Mr. Cooley, we hear you. We do. We hear you.
And let me add to what you're saying. That contract does have, and the reason they have 4-foot lengths because it won't fit in the truck and it tears the truck up and all that. And if they're bigger than 4 inches or whatever, it does something. But if that pile is 4 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot or whatever, they're supposed to pick it up. Now, if it's bigger than that, they're supposed to pick up 4 by 4 by 4 and tag the rest is why they didn't, which is part of the problem. They don't. The leaves, it doesn't matter if you put out 20,000 bags of leaves, they're supposed to pick them up.
That's not
We
happening.
have a limit. We used to have a limit on 10 bags or something. We got rid of that years ago. So there is no limit on bagged stuff. They're supposed to pick it all up. But again, you know, they don't.
And see, now I
and as
wasn't
far
aware
as
of
that,
so maybe y'all could publish, you know, these rules and make us aware of, you know.
and
what
that's
we're
partly
supposed
why
to
they're
do.
supposed to tag it. So if something is not pickupable, then they're supposed to tag it so the people know. Oh, okay, and then they do. We may have yard trash under the new contract all picked up on Monday, regardless. But part of the reason we didn't, because we didn't want to confuse people with one thing one day, one thing the next. But we've talked before about having all yard trash picked up Monday or Tuesday at the latest over the whole town. And they can. Some of the companies can do that, some can't. And part of Advance and some of these other companies is if you limit how much, or if you have $1 per home penalty or $5 per home penalty, you pay $14 a home a month. If you do a $10 penalty or a $200 penalty, you pay $200 a month per home. They build that into the price. So you got to wiggle where that penalty is costing people that have their trash picked up. And, you know, so you have to kind of, I think this contract, we didn't put it in there, what the penalty would be. We were going to wait until after we get a company and then we negotiate it. They may walk when we get them. We may be back to who, but that'll be part of whatever. We'll have to figure that out as we.
Mr. Cooley, are you willing to pay more for your garbage pickup service?
I don't want to pay more than anybody else. I will say this.
I'm saying as a town.
As a town, you get what you pay for.
That's right.
And
That's right.
if you want a bargain, okay, you can find a bargain, but you're going to find down the line that, okay, there was a shortcut somewhere. And that may or may not be something that you can live with. Sometimes it's a great deal, but sometimes
You get what you pay for.
That's the part that I wanted, and the rest is useless to me. So do your jobs, figure it out, you know, get your pencils out, sharpen them, you know, make the deal whatever it is. But I would suggest that let the citizens be involved in, you know, what we need, what we want and how we want it, rather than the company telling us, we'll pick your garbage up on Friday. I don't know of anybody that likes Friday, because if it doesn't get picked up,
you have no
and
recourse.
now I got to at least wait 3 days before I can even complain about it.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, we learned on that one, so we probably won't do that again. But
that's all I have to say.
And we will probably have a public hearing on this too when we get the stuff back to kind of hear again, because we'll probably have a bid at this price and a bid at that price and a bid at that price, and we'll have to decide which one.
The devil's always in the details.
Yes.
That's why they give folks the big bucks to figure it
Mr.
out.
Cooley.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, ma'am. Thank
We
you.
appreciate it very much.
Very well.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none? Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. Yes, ma'am.
So you can speak to us again at the end of the meeting too. Yeah. Yeah, us. Yeah, we'll vote on that. Yeah, us 5, yeah. Yeah. No, but you may want to stay and hear what we do. Yeah, you can read it in the paper.
Listen.
Pretty much.
But I'll go ahead and tell you I'm voting to get rid of them. And I think majority is, but I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the bottom. Right. Okay.
Ms. Keller, we're with you, okay?
Anyone else who'd like to address the council on anything on the agenda? Other than, well, including the trash, but.
Okay. Moving on.
Seeing none, next item is unfinished business. Item A, third and final reading to adopt our comprehensive plan for the town of Irmo. Is there a motion for third and final reading?
I make a motion.
I second it.
And any discussion? I know we discussed it last time with the guy from
We did.
Right.
from COG. Any comments, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor then of third and final reading to adopt that comprehensive land use plan, do so with show of hand. Next item is second reading of ordinance 1711 to annex Richland County TMS 4000, Block 2, Lot 12, which is 10,070 Broad River Road. That's the property up there next to the flooring.
Lake Murray
America,
flooring.
Lake Murray flooring,
Yeah.
yeah. Is there a motion for, excuse me, third and final reading of that?
So move.
Second reading.
Or second reading, yeah, okay, I'm sorry.
I so move.
Any discussion? Seeing none. All in favor then of second reading on ordinance 1711 on Broad River Road annexation, do so with show of hand. Next is second reading of ordinance 1712 to rezone the two properties up there next to Salem Church Road and the railroad track from fringe agricultural to general commercial, ordinance 1712. Is there a motion for second reading?
Make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion on that? I think we discussed that last time too.
We did.
Everything else around it is general commercial on that side of the railroad track. So all in favor then of that, do so with show of hands. And next is second reading of ordinance 1714, which is on Dreher Shoals Road. I think this is the Ward property with a zoning of PDD. Is there a motion for second reading of that?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion of that?
Is this the same builder? Is that the same property that they annexed before? Is the same builder doing this? Same developer?
Well, the people that are, you know where and I hate to call it this, but the house with the swans at the mailbox and that thing out on,
If you come off Salem Church and take a right.
take a right towards Valentine, there's a big house sitting on the right.
Yeah.
It's the land kind of there and behind it, and then a little bit further up. I've got the thing here.
That's fine. I mean, is they going to build?
I think that's the intention is the,
houses?
yeah, residential.
So how many houses are they looking at putting on that property? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
I don't care. I just was curious. Is this
One of the
an
tracks
extension
is like,
to
This
the-
gentleman might be able.
it's not the same as, no, it won't be an
There.
extension of that because they don't touch, but
Oh, okay.
one of them is,
If I may, I'm Frank
Yeah.
Johnson, the managing member of AJ Holdings. We are doing that development also. And the original land plan calls for 119 lots. Our engineer is looking over it. We've discovered some wetlands that we're addressing right now. So I think it probably will go down to maybe 100 lots somewhere in that area. There'll be a little larger lots than the last one we brought to you. And it will have access through ingress and egress through on Highway 6.
I bet I took that thing out.
Okay.
So
Thank
it's
you.
100 houses, both access on both sides, Highway 6 and Dreher Shoals. I guess Dreher Shoals is Highway 6, and Salem Church. Is that right?
No, it's back.
Okay.
Here's Salem Church. Here's that stuff we just got through doing. This is Dreher Shoals Road. This is Salem Church coming in here. And this is, what's that church called? Dutch Fork Baptist? That's Dutch Fork Baptist right there.
Mhm.
And this is Walgreens and Valentine. And this is probably that, I'm going to call it the Swan House is right here or right there. I'm not sure. But it's everything
That's in the
kind
town, isn't it? That's already in the town.
No, this is not in the town here. They touched that.
I thought that was the house, that Swan House.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah. This is that new subdivision, you can't back or see it, but on the corner down here
Mhm.
at Salem Church. And then there's some lots. And this is where that lake, if you know where that lake barely touches, there's some houses right here. One of them has that big USC thing on it, on the garage right there somewhere. So this is kind of right in that area there.
Okay, so you're talking about another 100 houses to deal with on top of the garbage problems we have now. I mean, we're going to take all this in consideration when you guys build these new fabulous homes, right? I mean, realizing that we're going to have another 100 houses here, another 200 houses in the other land that we annexed already.
And another 210.
210? So impacted 300 more houses, that will have to be serviced by our garbage company and police department and stuff like that, Hopefully not by the police department, but the garbage people,
And hopefully we have a new one, though, by then.
A new garbage service, not a
Yeah, I
new
mean, a
police
new,
department.
yeah.
New police department.
Hopefully we have a new garbage contractor by then, but who knows? But, and hopefully they will be wonderful.
Wonderful.
Just keep in mind that we got that. That's all I'm
Yeah.
pointing out.
So any more discussion? All in favor then of second reading of ordinance 1714, which is the annexation of that property, which I just missed it, but I think that one was 20 acres and the other one's, no, that one's 28 and the other one's 20. Nope, that one's 20 and the other one's 28. Okay. Do so with show of hands. All up, okay. The next one is the next lot, tract of land right beside of it, East Dreher Shoals Road. This is the one owned by the Trainees, and it's 1715 ordinance. Is there a motion to annex that?
Make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor then, do so with show of hands. And next is the new business. Approval of the band contract for the 2017 orchestra. One is for Spear Entertainment in the amount of $15,500. Do we need to do these individually, Bob, or can we do them all at one time?
You can do both of them. I mean, I would say do it individually because
Oh, okay. All right, so the first contract is in the amount of $15,500. Is there a motion for approval?
So move.
And a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Is this the Saturday night band or the?
Yeah, Mother's Finest is playing on Saturday.
That's the $15,000 band. Okay.
Well, it's 13.5, and then there's some money for
Well,
hotel
13.5
rooms
is for
and-
two of them.
15.5.
We got here on this first page, 13.5.
It says
15.
15.5 in the agenda.
15.5 and 7,750.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So it's not really a plus. I mean, you guys are approving 15,000.
Oh, okay.
And the 7,750 is for the root doctors?
And the other.
Oh, there are two bands, got it.
Yeah, well, there's, yeah. So there's one band Saturday and two bands
Friday.
Friday.
Okay.
Um,
So this covers two bands.
No, this 13 or 15 covers the one band for Mother's Finest and their hotel rooms.
Okay.
And
The
I don't know, I guess Eric was looking over that to make sure about those hold. The only question I had, and I'm trying to see.
Well, did you get a second on that first?
I think we did. Yeah,
Second.
Julius and Mark.
Okay.
I don't see it. I thought I wrote something down here, but maybe it's on the next band.
About the bands?
Oh, I know what it was. No, originally, and John, you might know, and Randy, y'all voted on that. Originally, the Saturday band was going to start early and end at, I'm going to just say 10, something. But I think I noticed in here the hours was different. Yeah, 90-minute show, and I think it had them starting at a certain time, and I can't see that. But do you know what time?
We're still planning to end at 10.
Okay. Okay.
Plan to end at 10.
Oh, okay. Okay. So any more questions?
Did you?
And as far as that hold harmless clause, all that stuff was good with you, everything?
I suggested that we take it out because it probably would be unenforceable because municipal entities, counties, states, cities can't hold anyone harmless. It's just a violation, a constitutional violation. We don't hold harmless because you have, I'm trying to think of the word, it's escaped me at the moment. But it has to do like.
Pick-up ability?
Well, no, you have the Tort Reform Act, right? So you would have like the Tort Reform Act and things like that where you wouldn't, the town would only have so much liability as we learned in that other case. And for you to hold somebody harmless would be for you to promise to do something that you can't do. So I just suggested that we take it out because probably wouldn't be enforceable even if.
But have they taken it out, or is it still in there, or?
I don't know, I only made the recommendation.
Okay.
I believe Larry followed all his recommendations.
Okay.
Okay, there's other parts about this contract that, well, for instance, Mother's Finances are headliner on Saturday. Are they going to be playing at Newberry Opera House the weekend before? I mean, I told them to put in their contract they can't play within a 100-mile radius 30 days before the orchestra. Did they put that in the contract?
I do not know if that was added to the contract, but I believe, unless you know something that we don't know, he asked where they were performing 2 weeks from the previous our competition. It seemed that their schedule matched what we needed.
So the answer is yes, they did put that in, or they did not? We need to add that to the contract because surely spending $15,000 for a headliner like that and they're playing 2 miles down the road the weekend before will impact the people coming to our show tremendously, especially a band like that. So I don't know if they didn't put it in there before we vote on it, we need to have that in there, add that to the contract.
So do we need to table this?
Do we need to defer this?
I don't, well, I'll just say this, on not Eric, but on Larry and them's behalf, they need to know because they got to sign them up. If they don't sign them up, they could be gone. So, and they wanted it to be done, 2 weeks ago or whenever the last time we met was?
He said it was like the 21st.
3 days from today. Like July 21st, I believe is what I remember the contract saying. So the one we did.
They have to have it done by the 21st.
Of April?
Yeah, April. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking they needed it right away. So if we table it, we're killing it. If we defer it, we're killing it.
It's not a matter of tabling, just add the sentence in the contract. If Eric's sitting right here, Eric, type it in.
Add a sentence to a contract they've already submitted, we'd have to add it to it, and then they'd have to agree to it, and if they say no to it, then.
You're back to square one and lost the band.
Yeah.
Nobody signed the contract yet, right?
I don't have them in front of me.
I got it in front of me, nobody signed it.
Now, this is just a copy we got.
I think there's some initialing going on from our orchestra person, there's some amendments and things along that line.
Yeah.
Right, nobody signed it, so it hasn't
Well,
been ratified.
I'll tell you what, let's do this.
So the contract is.
Let's make an
add the
amendment.
thing to the
If it
contract.
passes,
You add
fine.
it.
If it doesn't, doesn't. Is there an amendment to add anything to this contract?
If I can interrupt real quick
Go
for a
ahead.
second. I believe that Larry had already addressed that with the promoter in making sure that they weren't already booked
within that mile radius that you talked about?
100-mile radius before?
I don't know if it was 100. I think it might have been,
Probably 50.
I think it was 50 or 75. I can't remember.
Whatever, 30 days before the
Yeah.
orchestra.
And I believe that condition had already been met, so it was, at that point, it was no point in adding it to a contract because he already had found that condition was met.
What do you mean? If it was met, then there's no problem adding it in the contract. So it's in writing, right? You saying it's already been agreed to, it should be in writing, so it's
He's already gotten the
ratified.
information of where they're performing prior to our event. Now, that doesn't mean that they're contractually held to that. If someone else should cancel and they book another event,
Yeah, they can't book another event within a 50-mile or 100-mile radius of the orchestra 50 days or 30 days before the show. I don't want.
Well,
I'm telling you, it's going to hurt the.
I don't know that we've ever done that in past contracts. I'm not sure we have.
We've done it all the time in past contracts.
I'm not sure.
That
Maybe
much
we
money.
have. I don't know. But I'm going to leave that up to the Orchestra Commission. It's their behind if something goes wrong, not ours. They're making this recommendation to us. We can either reject it or we can make a request. We can do that. But if they don't or they do or whatever, or we can just vote it down and tell them to come back with somebody else, whatever. But they're going to lose these people possibly by that date if it's not done.
Okay.
So,
Well, get on the phone with Larry then and find out if he did it, because I don't see it in the.
well, you could have got on the phone with Larry in the last couple of days, weeks. This stuff's been here since last meeting.
It's not been ratified. The contract
All right.
hasn't been signed, so.
Anybody else?
It's not a matter of
ready to
anybody
vote.
getting it.
I'm ready to vote.
All right. Do you want to make an amendment? Do you want to make a request? Do you want to
It's
make
not making an
something?
amendment, it's just
Okay.
add that verbiage to the contract. Eric says that you can't do it, you can do it, or.
We got a approval and a second for $15,500 to whatever these people are, Mother's Finest. We can ask Bob to talk to Larry and see. You can talk to Larry and see.
Are these other bands on Friday night? This Finesse Band and Root Doctors?
They're on Friday.
That's on Friday night, right?
We're on this contract right now. Let's finish this one up.
Okay.
Is there all in favor then of awarding the contract for $15,500 to Spear Entertainment for Mother's Finest? Do so with show of hands. All opposed?
I want to know if they're playing there.
Of course you want to know.
And if they are, yeah, that will affect Saturday night.
Yeah, well, of course
It may. I don't know. I mean, that's.
They're playing at the
making
Newberry
it-
Opera House on the Friday before. It's going to hurt us.
The next is
And
East
you
Coast
can add that-
Entertainment
We can add that verbiage.
in
simply
the
in
amount
contract
of
to be
$7,750. Is there a motion for approval of that contract for that amount for those two bands?
I make a motion.
I second it.
One of them is for Finesse Band, and the other one is for Root Doctors. And I think they started at a certain time, and they're over at 11:30 or something like that on Friday night. And they don't have no hotel rooms, and they don't have no food. Just strictly, this is the cost within the play. And no riders, yeah. Any discussion? And we got to pay a deposit up front of 50% or something like that?
Normally it's 50%.
So, any discussion?
I got the same conflict.
Okay.
Same comments for this one. Did they add that verbiage in there for the band performing before? 30 days before, or?
no. And both of these are local bands. They play on a regular basis in the local area.
Mhm.
And I don't think that would dissuade any of their fans from coming to the orchestra. They have a strong following, and they'll go from town to town to follow these bands, regardless of where they're playing the Thursday night before or the weekend before.
Okay.
So that's a different situation than Mother's Finest, where people might be traveling from a long distance to see Mother's Finest.
Any more discussion, questions?
No, I think he's right about that.
And all in favor then of the contract for $7,750 for East Coast Entertainment, do so with show of hands. Next is, and I would just get with Larry and see and get back with Bob and let him know for sure, and so we can confirm what has been done and what can be. And then you can ask about the stuff whether it got taken out or not. Approval to award a contract to Custom Audio and Lighting in the amount of $5,600 to do the lights and sound or whatever for the orchestra. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Okay. And a second? I will second that. This is a company that, and I guess Bob or John, they do the sound, the lights. Is that what they do, all that stuff? And y'all voted on picking this company?
We took 3 bids. This was the company that we felt would provide the services that we needed at the orchestra for all bands that we have.
Okay.
For the 2 days? For the 2 days?
Correct.
Okay. And did y'all look at the rider on Mother's Finance's rider for their equipment contract needed? And this company can provide all that stuff?
All 3 companies that bid had that information ahead of time so that they knew what they were doing.
Okay.
And they have what? Any more discussion? All in favor then to award the contract for $5,600 to Custom Audio and Lighting? Do so with show of hands. And next item is the fun one, approval to terminate advanced disposal contract. We need to get a motion in a second, and then we can make a motion to go in executive
I
session,
second.
and Eric and whatever. So Julius and Kathy, is there a motion to go in executive session and get legal?
I make a motion.
Counsel, legal advice. Is there a second?
Second.
If there's a motion already on the floor, can we make another motion?
Well,
That violates Robert's rules.
as far as this right here, no. We're going to go into executive session to discuss some stuff. You can do that when you're in I'm going to call it a business item. You can go in executive session during that time. You just need the council approval. So we got to vote on that to go in, then we come back out, and then we go back to discussion.
Okay.
So all in favor of going into an executive session to discuss or to get legal advice, or counsel, whatever you call it, do so with show of hands. And we will go in, we'll be back out, no votes will be taken in, we'll come back out and vote and all that good stuff. Executive session, and if I am saying this correct, we have advised our attorney to write a letter. To make sure I'm wording this right, but we have advised our attorney to write a letter to Advanced Disposal to revoke the contract according to the terms of the contract and our ordinance and whatever. Is that it?
Yep.
Correct.
Yes.
So,
July 30th.
effective when?
July 30th.
July 30th.
Is that when we had it? That's what we had on our bid thing?
Yes, the new bids you have out would be beginning on July 31st, which is a Monday.
Okay.
Theirs would terminate on the 30th.
So, all in favor with that, do so with show of hands. And next item is presentation by citizens. This is where anyone who would like to address council on anything may do so at this time. All we ask is you come to the podium and give us your name and address for the record. Oh!
Who is this stranger? Who is this woman? She's working here.
Yes, I'm Susan Floyd, 100 Basing House Road. I spoke earlier in reference to the garbage disposal. So,
100 what? Basing?
Basing House, it's one word.
Right off Finsbury to the left.
Yeah.
Correct. Third road to the left, house on the hill. That's me. Oh, wait. I know, it's awful, isn't it? No problem. So, you have decided to, disband of this contract, yes?
Yeah.
July. We're okay.
Notice.
It's my turn.
Well, I'm just trying to explain, yeah.
She's a teacher. Hush up, Marty.
So was I.
I'm sorry. You know, you're the man. Okay, so it's April 18th, and you're going to terminate their contract as of July 30th. Okay, so in between that time, you know, we've already established, you know, that human nature is going to just say, huh, what do we do in between? Okay, rhetorical question.
Okay.
Make sure that there's enough people at the landfills, because people like my husband will be proactive. We're not going to have stuff at our curb waiting and hoping that people that we've already paid will pick it up. So we need to think beyond just the fact of it being picked up at our curb, but that our landfills are acceptable of people, you know, being there. You know what I'm saying? Why, I mean.
Does Lexington County landfill accept Richland County?
No.
They have to go to both landfills depending on what part of town they go to.
Ask for an ID at any of the landfills.
I have.
Yeah, you will.
I
You
have.
will when this find out.
You will when this happens.
Yeah.
I promise you. But see, we're rule followers. You know, we're not going to go somewhere we're not supposed to go, because those people don't prosper in the long run. Come on, guys. I mean, you got to be with me. And if everybody followed that, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in
now,
you know, in a global situation. But that's neither here nor there. Please, I mean, is there any way that you can do it sooner, or is that what you legally have been advised, to give them 6 months to mess us up?
well, it's not 6 months.
Okay, April to July.
The bids are already gone.
Right?
Okay, we've got to wait for the bids to come back.
How long is that? Are you giving them 30 days?
What is it?
April 27th is when they're due in.
The bids.
Okay, so you could accept a bid and get rid of those people earlier?
No.
No, you still got a contract that you have to abide by. That's what we.
Wait a minute. We said earlier, Barry, that we could renege on, I mean, we could cancel our contract as well as they could cancel out theirs.
But
There's a process
the
to
new
do that.
people cannot instantly show up and do the job.
So our garbage is going to sit there.
No, it's not
until-
going to sit. The old company's going to serve you until the 30th of July. In the meantime, the new company has been awarded the contract, and they are going to set up the routes according to their trucks, so that when they get on when they hit the road July the 31st, they go and get up the trash that's on that day that they're supposed to pick up.
Okay. I would just implore that the council bid by the gentleman that spoke, that if you could have someone from the community serve on a committee, because you know how we all love committees, because it delegates and all of that kind of thing. But I would implore you to look into that, where you've got someone that's not serving your people or your people or your people. You know what I'm saying? You've got someone that goes, that's not going to work. Let's be realistic. You know, I'm just being as real as I can without, you know, Barry knows me. I'm fairly passionate about things.
No problem.
I'll take you outside. You know, I'm from North Charleston, so, you know, but that's just where I am. And I know that I just wish I had been coming to these meetings before now. And I'm sorry that you've had to meet me and endure my passion and my bitching, you know, on this. So please pardon me, and pardon, sir, I didn't mean to say a bad word.
We're here to listen.
I know, and I'm sorry. It's been my negligence. But, you know, I can't make it to everyone. So I'm depending on y'all.
Well, we're depending on him. You see that little guy right there with the...
Why? I mean...
He's our town attorney that's keeping the town from being sued and whatever else that this company could possibly do if we don't do it the right way, which would cost you money in the end.
It's costing us money now and we're not getting service, so...
He's going to do his best to negotiate the best way out.
Okay.
And
And I'm sorry that they put it on your shoulders. I hope you are well compensated.
He's not. Tell you the truth.
You know, that is so sad. You know, but thank you for your service. Neither
They
here nor
will
there.
get a letter from us, and probably more likely when they get a letter, they'll pick up the phone and call him and ask him about the letter.
Mhm.
They want to meet. He's going to talk to them and find out what they want. They may come up and tell us whatever.
They're done or whatever.
And then we can, at that same time, because they're going to want something. I don't know what it is they want, but evidently they want something or they wouldn't ask, so they want something. We can tell them at that time, you know what, we want something too.
Yeah.
We want you to pick up garbage with no trouble or no worse between now and July 30th or whatever that date is.
Mhm.
And we'll keep sending you checks. If you don't, maybe we won't. Maybe we'll be 30 days late or 90 days late or 100 days late or a year late on their check.
We know that won't happen, but the whole point is we need to make sure that everyone is done the right way. It's the golden rule.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the golden rule.
Well, that's what we're doing. We're following the contract that was with Southland that we inherited when they bought
Trash in
Southland.
Irmo, like they wanted their trash picked up at their home, we wouldn't be here today, but evidently they don't know that golden rule either.
Well, you know what? They do their own trash probably.
I don't know, wherever they're at, they might have got.
They're somewhere in Florida?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
Ms. Floyd, I just want to just mention to you that this is not a contract that this council negotiated.
I understand.
This was negotiated in 2002.
I understand. And you know what? We're all accountable for what our predecessors do.
Amen.
Amen.
And thank you for your service and what you do and what you accepted when you came into this job. Can't be easy, but it's easy for me to be on this side. And please understand where I'm coming from.
And all I'll tell you is this council, when we develop this contract, you'll be much more happy with this contract than that one.
And so in 2017, I'm going to look back in 2022 and say the council.
And absolutely, you should.
And I will.
And you should.
I will find you.
That's all right.
Very
You're
good.
going to find me and you're going to pat me on the back.
I certainly
That's
hope
what you're
so,
going to
sir.
do.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Floyd, Susan Floyd. It's 429-3194. Oh, God, everybody's taking the number down.
429, what was that?
3194.
4, 2,
9,
3, 1, military, 9er, 4.
Drove from Atlanta today, so have mercy.
And you know what? This should be a party now. I mean, I'm the only one left standing.
Yeah, we can go burn trash.
No, sir, mine was picked up today. And isn't there a burn order right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See? Didn't think I knew that, did you?
Ms. Floyd, really, thank you very much for staying and showing us.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Seeing none? I'm about ready to. Yeah.
Well, we have one more item.
If y'all want to skip it, we'll skip it. And I think some of those houses have already been addressed anyway, to a certain degree. Of course, we got a guy's name, but he's not listed on Google anywhere, so.
Real quick, like, the question you just have to ask yourself is how bad you want it. That's the answer to any questions you're gonna have on that. You got a vacant property and the person's an absentee landlord, they don't live here. I can't serve them, so I can't do the process of giving them a ticket or anything like that. So there is a civil process to go through where we can go through and
Well, you know,
fix it.
Interestingly enough, in the magazine that we get from the Municipal
Yeah, I wanted to bring that
Association,
up.
Yeah.
they did talk about what Greenville and Clemson have done. And it may be a good idea for us to get in contact with them and see what they know, because they've done an unbelievable job.
They have their police chief contact the police in the town, in the state, where the vacant, out-of-town, out-of-state person lives. And can y'all, do you have to have mutual aid? Do you just have to pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, can you do me a favor?
There's more of a problem with that.
Yeah, that's a huge, I mean, I think we could probably give them an abatement notice outside of town. It's a warning or a notice to do something, to abate a nuisance. But I don't know if we can issue a citation to someone in the reach. I really don't know.
What about in another state?
I mean, even American, I think, addresses, I don't think we can, when we serve warrants on people, we bring them here to serve.
And where that thing, is it, they do the
Yeah,
court
here.
in the states?
I'm looking at a quick light.
I just
Yeah,
figured
okay, that's,
copy that.
I mean, that's slick if you can make it happen, but you don't usually get this type of mutual aid over a municipal ordinance violation. This is more of like, we've got a serial rapist that's left South Carolina.
He
and
said they serve a summons. Now, is that a ticket?
No, a summons is a requirement to appear in court.
So they served a summons on that guy.
But the only person that can serve that summons on that guy is a law enforcement officer from the municipality where that person resides. So in the case of North Royal Tower, we're gonna have to, if I'm correct about my research where he's at, we're gonna have to issue the summons and then send it on up to a New Jersey police officer and have him go by and try to hopefully serve it on this person.
Yeah, someone's in the court side.
And I still have to look at it. Yeah, I mean, so he doesn't show up, then we're gonna have the court here issue a contempt order or find him guilty in absentia, and then we'd have to swear out a warrant for his arrest, and then we'd have to get that law enforcement officer again to go back out, pick him up, extradite him down here to Irmo to answer to the court as to why he didn't. It's a lot of work.
Well, honestly,
I'd rather do it by the
I don't think he
settlement.
bought the property.
Oh, he bought the property, this is public index
For
stuff.
$90,000. He bought that property for $90,000.
Told you wouldn't believe it.
That's what we said. It was crazy.
Yeah, because,
Yeah, I mean, this is from I pulled it from the public index.
well, I was driving through New Friars Gate, doing my little regular circuit I do every now and then, and I saw this guy carrying trash to the street, and I thought it was the next door neighbor trying to, don't look at this house, look at my house. And I asked Bob, I said, what's going on with that old house on Royal Tower? He said, oh, guy bought it. I said, he did? How much? He said, $90,000. That was the weekend we went to the car show in Charlotte, remember? He was working in the yard.
One of my police officers drove by, saw somebody out there working also.
Yeah, same day, probably.
So the guy's fixing it up? So why are we giving him a hard time with an abatement? So if he's working on it.
Well, we haven't yet.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think he's working on it because he ain't been there.
The guy that bought it claims that's his address.
And I don't know if it's somebody he hired. I don't know.
But he doesn't exist in Richland County's records, other than he purchased the house.
Once you got plenty of disposable income.
I mean,
I'll have to read into it, I haven't seen this
I can
before.
tell you that Clemson has many rental properties, and of course, many that are from out of state. So, and I happen to know that the coordinator of Clemson is from Rhode Island, so I know he's
Oh, here we go.
Well, I know, West Columbia Police Department, I talked to
See what we have to put up with?
their captain today, and he said that they're tearing down buildings in the old mill that are abandoned.
Yep, I saw that too, yeah.
They're tearing them down, and they're saying they make a lot more room. They said they really need the parking, so they're trying to build the old building.
Did y'all issue a ticket to Abdullah's property?
I think there were
Two tickets? Not abatements, tickets. Citations. So when's the court date for him?
May 11th, I think it was.
May 11th?
I can find out the dates.
Okay.
May 3rd.
It's somewhere else.
I saw
May 3rd?
But he'll probably have the work done tomorrow, or Wednesday, or Thursday, so it'll probably be, what do you call that? All approached or whatever.
I told him to do that 2 months ago.
He had a certain time to fix things and didn't, and Sergeant Dale issued him 2 tickets, he'll have to go to court. I mean,
Well, yeah, he had his extension until Monday. I mean, it's 15 days to count.
Well, he said Tuesday.
I'm sorry?
He said Tuesday. And he said that's what Ringer said too, Tuesday. I don't know, I wasn't there.
What extension? He had an extension of 15th. What?
well, I know he got it today, he got 2 tickets today from Sergeant Dale. Correct. And then if you
Today, okay.
you get a court date.
Okay, so today's the 18th. He's got a court.
You
Okay.
come to court and say, I fixed everything, just like I fixed my driver's license.
Well, I was thinking, I've heard people say if you fix whatever it is, like you get a tail light out on your car or a headlight out on your, and you get a ticket, and then you go get it fixed, you go by the police officer and they go, oh yeah, okay, fine.
I mean, that's the officer's discretion. I mean,
Oh,
so
okay.
we could assist him with the citation.
The only officer who had no slack is gone.
Yeah.
It was, Joe was black and white.
Yeah.
There was no gray.
So, where are we at? Any,
Is there
no
a
discussion,
motion to adjourn? We're not- we
no
defer
executive
that.
session,
We defer.
so we are gonna defer to that other thing, and is there a motion for adjournment?
Second.
All in favor?
No.
All in favor? Anybody in favor? Aye.
All in favor?